Finding Our Words, a concept presented by Murphy McGee. First, this began by my interest in blackout poetry. I've used it before in art books and just as a creative process in my own writing. According to this Medium article, blackout poetry or redacted poetry stems from found poetry and is characterized by the use of a marker, usually black marker, to existing text, and redacts words until a blackout or redacted poem is formed. This is an example of one of my own blackout poems. I also looked into Austin Kleon's work. This is from his book, Newspaper Blackout Poems. This led me to the idea of found poetry, which is a little different. It's a type of poetry created by taking words, phrases, and sometimes whole passages from other sources and reframing them as poetry, kind of like a literary collage. And then to the concept of Dada poetry. Of course, Dadaism started in the early 20th century. I found this quote in particular interesting about Dada poetry. By destroying everyday language, sound poems offered both a metaphor for the destruction caused by war and a commentary on the deceitfulness of language. Tristan Tzahara, who was born in 1896, was a poet and essayist and actually wrote the Dada manifestos. He is coined for saying how to make a Dada poem, and these are his instructions on how to do that. So my concept would be using Twitter and writing code that will search for tweets using particular hashtags and then randomly generating poems and displaying it for the viewer. How I would like to see this through would be to create a wooden box that a participant would enter. They have the ability to sit or stand. There is a light that uses motion detection to turn on and then dim out until the box room that they are in is black, and there's a screen that then appears, and it gives the participant the ability to select different hashtags that then the computer searches for. It searches for tweets using those hashtags and then creates a poem for them and displays it. Similar to a photo booth, it would also have the option to print the poem for a memento of the exhibition. But due to lack of space, time, and finances to fund this scale of a project, I will be scaling back and creating a found poetry box. And it will be constructed as a three-dimensional box that the participant holds. There's a button in the center that they press, and then the computer again will search for, this time it will be hard-coded in. There isn't the option to choose which hashtag is being searched, but the computer will search for the hashtags and then display a shortened version of a poem. So the prose will show up on the LCD display on the front of the box.